So hi, I'm Deb and I'm from NCVO and we led the evaluation of Big Local, and we were out talking to local residents and interviewing them and running workshops right through from last May, June to October, and it took us a while, but now we produced our final report, and so today I was hoping to share some of our main findings with you. So I'm going to talk to you first about the progress that areas have made. I think that's something that people will be really interested in. And one of the things that we felt really strongly was that the progress is really promising. A lot of it is behind the scenes, if you like. So there's an awful lot of time and effort gone into making partnerships work. And I think one of the things that we really felt came out strongly was how much volunteer time people have given. Thousands of hours of people's time gone into making this happen. So partnerships coming together, real achievement. Developing really sound local plans that were very much based, it seemed to us, on what local people have said is most needed. And I think that makes them quite different from a lot of other more formal plans that might have been developed for the area in the past. So another important message that we felt we'd like to get out there about progress is that sometimes I think people feel progress is a sort of a line where it's ever upwards and it's a nice straight line. And actually what we really felt was that the progress is not at all linear. It's very up and down. The old saying of one step forward, two steps back sometimes is going on. And I think we just wanted to say that's a really natural part of a long-term programme like this, and areas shouldn't feel discouraged. Things will take longer, not everything will work. And I think what was very reassuring to us, looking at it from a national perspective, is that local trust very much seems to be saying, we understand that, it's okay, not everything's going to work. Just let us know how it's going. One of the things that we were asked to look at was the issue of resident control. Are residents really in control of what happens with Big Local? And our conclusion was, well, yeah, actually they are. Very strongly came out of our surveying of local areas that they felt that residents were in control of the decisions within partnerships, and residents have been widely consulted about what areas do. So there was a real strong feel that that's working, and also that that's one of the things that makes Big Local different. So it hasn't always been easy, I think, for residents to take control. We definitely concluded that that's what's happening, but the journey hasn't always been straightforward. Sometimes it's just been an issue of confidence and self-belief. Do residents really believe this is their programme? They might have a lack of confidence because they've not done this before, or some cynicism because they have done this before and it's been a little tokenistic. There's very much a sense from the partnerships that we engage with that however difficult it's been to get there, right now partnerships are becoming very resident-led, and that residents have a genuine voice and a say in what's happening. The other thing I think that came out of our work with partnerships is the amount of learning that's going on. So with all the ups and downs of their journeys and all the challenges that some of them have had to deal with, there's an awful lot of learning. And when we asked members of partnerships, why are you learning, what's helping you learn? The thing that came out most strongly was learning from weathering storms and dealing with challenges, learning by doing, and also learning from each other. So there's a real generosity of spirit with people sharing their skills with others, and people are able to learn from each other. And I think that bodes well for the future of those partnerships to take the work forward longer term. One of the questions that we tried to look at in the evaluation was how areas engage with the support that they're given and what really helps them. So we were really interested in what's been called a light touch approach that the programme has, where there's some freedom and some flexibility so that things are really led locally and decisions are made locally. And what Big Local looks like is decided by local people. So we want to look at that in practice and how that works and what support helps areas create their own Big Local. In terms of what helps, we looked at the support that areas have been given, and we asked partnerships to rate that support and let us know what was most helpful to them. And what came out really strongly was that it's the support that they're able to access locally that really makes a difference. So where an area has been able to build a really strong relationship with its local authority, or got really good partners in the voluntary sector involved, that's been really supportive and helped them along the way. Where areas have been able to overcome past histories and conflict and come together and have some shared goals, that's also really helped. They also talked positively about the reps. Having a local rep was really important, a person who can give them ideas and support and some reassurance that they're doing okay. A really big question for the evaluation was, Is this making a difference? Are local partnerships and local people starting to make a difference through Big Local? And we were really clear, this is an early years evaluation, so we weren't expecting to find masses and masses of changes in local areas. We understand that these things take time. But we did see change. We saw some really positive changes, and I think the area should feel really pleased about some of the changes that they're starting to make. And some of those changes were quite tangible. So we've seen areas setting up hubs for community activity, people working better together. That came out very strongly. There's a lot of people working together who haven't necessarily worked together before, and organisations coming together and working with local people in a different way. Environmental changes, definitely, and that was often something that people were very proud of, because you can see right there and then, look at the change in the local park, or streets tidier, or feeling safer, those kind of things that people could really put their finger on and say, yeah, we can see that happening. But one of the changes that we thought was most interesting in a way was about a less tangible changes around creating a bit of a buzz. But there was a sense that people's attitudes are changing, that there's more optimism, that people feel more positive, that people are starting to feel like, yeah, do you know what, we can do this, we can make a difference in our area. And that's a really important achievement, I think, for Big Local. Those changes in how people feel about their area and how much people want to give to their local area, and their willingness to take part and to volunteer in their area, those changes are, I think, maybe the ones that really matter in the longer term. We've talked a little bit about what makes change sustainable, and I think Big Local has thought about that, because areas are investing in people, and it's people that will make these changes sustainable. So a big question that we've been asked is really, well, what's going to lie ahead for Big Local? What have we learned from our evaluation that would tell us something about what's going to come next? Some partnerships are worrying about how to manage ambitious projects. Plans are ambitious, there's a lot in these plans. Do partnerships at the moment have the skills and the knowledge that they need to manage those projects and get partners on board? And there's definitely a concern, this is a long-term programme. How do you sustain the momentum? How do you keep things going? How do you keep the enthusiasm going? And there are partnerships who told us that one of the difficult things is that outside of the partnership in local areas, local people are asking, well, what's happening? What's happening? There's not enough happening yet. And so they're feeling this pressure to deliver quite quickly. Although we found some partnerships were worrying about the future and had those kind of practical concerns about how to sustain the momentum and how to keep things going, we also found an awful lot of grounds for optimism. And I think that comes from seeing how much has been achieved, from a growing sense of confidence, and that came across quite strongly, that whether it's through weathering storms or delivering projects on the ground, people are starting to feel more confident about their ability to deliver Big Local. And I think the biggest thing was the passion and commitment that we saw. So there are people involved in Big Local who have given many, many hours, who've shared their skills and their talents, who really, really care about their local area. And I think it's that gives us real grounds for optimism for the future.